Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for watching today. Today is Thursday, August 19th. And today we're going to talk about rules. You know, as adults, sometimes we hate to hear those words. Rules. You have rules. For some reason, growing up as children, we have rules. And then guess what? When we get older in life and we're adults, we think we're adults. We could get rid of some rules. But guess what? We have more rules now as adults and business owners than we did when we were children. But also, when you're your own boss and your own CEO and CFO and COO of your own personal company, which is your real estate business, you have to have rules for yourself. And that's a little bit of what I want to talk about today. So think about the success in anything. Let me just go back. We all had jobs before being in real estate. We all had a boss. I think so. I don't think there's anybody getting into this right out of, well, there's a few. I'm sorry, let me rephrase. There are a few people that go right in from school to real estate and never had a job, but almost everybody's had a job. You had rules in that job of what you had to do and what you had to accomplish. Many of us didn't ever had jobs where you just show up and wait for things to happen. You had rules, had a checklist of things to accomplish for the day, or your employer or your boss is going to be upset with you because you didn't accomplish the rules or the tasks that they gave you. And even if you're waiting for things, if you had a job for waiting for customers or calls, there's a checklist and rules of things that you have to follow. But for some of us, when we are the ones that have to write the rules of business or success, or we have to give ourselves rules, we fall off. We don't know where to start. We're just I see so many agents over the years that they don't even know where to start to tell themselves, even though I tell them some things to do. And I'm going to give you 3 quick, easy rules about prospecting today. But some of us just don't know how to give ourselves rules. This is a job. Number 1, you got to show up every day. And if you're full-time or part-time, you got to put yourself on a schedule. When are you going to work? When are you going to prospect? That's your number 1 job every day, even if you have buyers and sellers and you're working on contracts. Is the number 1 thing for any business that's consumer related, finding customers, is out there marketing themselves and getting business. And guess what? I don't think anybody watching this has unlimited funds to buy customers out there. So a lot of big companies, as you see, there's certain products that you buy, there's certain services that you use because you see it, you go there, you're already existing customer, but you never get a call from them like, hey, when are you coming back to use our service or visit our store or buy our product? Because a lot of those places have unlimited, not unlimited, but a lot of funds and a lot of marketing that's passive marketing that gets enough people to you. No one's calling you. Unfortunately for you, you got to work at it. You've got to find the business. And then this is where the rules come in, is you got to put the rules in place of when you're going to work and how long are you going to work and what are your tasks. So pretend, a picture in your mind, if you had someone, an assistant, doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, and they didn't know nothing about real estate, what would you write for them to do? What would you do? Okay, this is what you need to do. You show up at this time. These are the people that you're going to call. These are the people you're going to follow up with. This is the people you're going to visit. And your goal and what you have to accomplish is getting appointments. But in real estate and in sales in general, there's rules. You can't get an appointment without doing the work. in making the calls and getting the connections. And when you make the connections, sometimes at the end of the day, you don't have that appointment. So the one good thing about what I'm talking about today is I'm going to give you 3 things to do, and there's good news about any of those 3 things. So here's the 3 things. Well, 3 rules is that 1, your goal every day, your rule when you start working every day, your goal and what you're trying to accomplish is to make at least 1 appointment. 1 appointment, I mean, to a buyer is someone that is looking to buy now or very soon, and setting up an appointment to do a buyer's presentation or go in depth with them about their needs and wants and hiring you, maybe even do a buyer agency agreement, and when you're going to get out there on the street and start looking for homes. Sometimes when you're prospecting, that turns into that because it's right now, but booking an appointment. So another example to that is someone says, I'm interested, I'm not looking right now, but maybe a year from now. Put that, and then set the appointment. Hey, Mr. Smith, great, a year from now, can we book an appointment? Can we pencil in an appointment about 6 months from now, 7 months from now, a little bit before when you want to start looking, so I could show you what's been happening in the market over the last 6, 7 months, where you could see the values, where they're good, what's happening in certain markets, and show you my services and what I could do for you to use me as an agent, to be your trusted real estate advisor. You have to have scripts like that and say, yes, follow up with me this day. Well, I'm going to put it in my schedule 1 p.m. Next May the 2nd. How many of you are scheduling appointments a year in advance? I'm doing that with agents right now. A lot of you watching this, I call you, or I have my assistant Brooke call you, and we follow up with people. When are we going to follow up with you next? 6 months from now? A year from now? When should we call you next? And I have appointments in my schedule for a year from now. I have some agents that call me and say they have a contract for 2 or 3 years. I'm putting you in 3 years from now. I'm going to call you. Every single person, you could set up an appointment up for the future. So that's 1 rule you should set for yourself. 2 is if you can stop, if you want to, but you shouldn't, stop working or move on to a different thing that you need to do when you hit that 1 appointment. But if you don't get that appointment, you've got to work for at least 3 hours in prospecting. So this is my 1-3-30 rule. 1-3-30. 1-3-30. So 1 appointment, your goal. If you don't hit that, you got to work at least 3 hours. And the 3rd rule, the 1-3-30, is that you have to make at least 30 calls, 30 contacts. Because sometimes you work for 3 hours and you get on the phone with friends, relatives, people you know, someone you went to high school with, college with, someone you had a colleague at a past business, a referral from someone, and then they want to start talking to you for about 45 minutes about everything they're doing. In 3 hours, you could probably have 5, 6 conversations, and that's it. So that your goal is 1, 3, or 30. You're either getting 1 appointment. 2 is working at least 3 hours, and that goal is 30 calls. So if you at the end of 3 hours you haven't had 30 contacts, you got to work 4 hours, 5 hours. Where are you going to get that? You can't talk to 3 people in 3 hours and think that you're going to get somewhere and get to that success level and that goals that you want. So those are the simple prospecting rules that you should set up for yourself every day. Every day getting up, this is the time I'm going to start working. These are the calls I'm going to make. These are the people I'm going to reach out to. My goal is at least 1 appointment a day. If I don't make that appointment, I'm working a minimum of 3 hours. And if at the end of the 3 hours, if I don't have 30 calls, I'm going to continue working until I got 30 calls in there. So 1, 3, 30. Think of that. Write that down. Put it on your your mirror in your bathroom when you're waking up in the morning. You go, that's what my goal is. That's what I have to go. And then at the end of the day, if you didn't hit that one appointment, but you worked 3 hours and you got a minimum of 30 calls, that's a success. You had a successful day. You did what you wanted to do. You followed the rules. And you did what you needed to do, because in the long run, it will pay off. If you didn't get one appointment, you didn't work 3 hours a minimum, and you didn't make 30 calls, you failed for the day. I mean, you might have accomplished something, you've made some calls, but you didn't get your job done. Imagine you are at your old job and your boss gave you a list of things that you have to do each day, and every day you didn't do them. Would you still have that job? Would they let you go? So at the end of the day, think of yourself as that you are your own board of directors, you're your own boss. Would you hire yourself or keep yourself employed in your company if you're not following the rules that you place for yourself? And no, it sounds simple, but most agents that are definitely, almost all agents that are not hitting their level of success over a period of time. I know for the newer agents, newer in the business, it takes some time. But if you've been in the business a few years and you've been trying to get business and you haven't gotten it yet, this is probably one of the main reasons why. So that's it for today. So take that 1, 3, 30. Think of that. Write it down. Be in front of you all of the time. Add to it. If you're having good success and you have more time and you want to put more time, make it 2. Make it 2, 5, 50. 2, 5, 50. You could, but the minimum, I feel, is a 3-hour workday. Come on, and make one appointment and 30 calls. You could easily make 30 calls a day. I know that. I know that statistically, if you work 5-6 hours a day, and I'm not saying prospect 5-6 hours, you could get 100 to 125 calls in that time frame. I know that. I see it. I watch it. I see the numbers out there. So you can do it. It's not a lot when you have it organized to do. So that's it. Have a great Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow at noon on Friday. Bye-bye.